Welcome back to the vlog. In this episode, I'm going over the 2 shows that I shot for F1RST Wrestling last Sunday. So as I mentioned last week, between wrestling shows, it was 11 months and 2 weeks since I'd done a wrestling show. So I was really itching to go back. But luckily, F1RST Wrestling had done a lot of protocols in place, including all the talent having to do a negative test the week of for COVID protocols, and masks were required basically everywhere except for in the ring itself during their matches. And that was a safe enough environment that I felt pretty comfortable coming back. So I ended up actually shooting from the hard cam position for this show because we had 2 ringside photographers. The first one was Mouse, who was out there for a lot of the shows, and then Michael Watson, aka Brainbuster, who was out there sporadically between taking some backstage portraits that ended up turning out amazing. Mouse also did some portraits as well. Because both of these guys were just super hardworking. And I'm doing hard cam, and the only problem that I had doing hard cam, I ended up renting a lens. So I rented a 70 to 200 millimeter lens, and that ended up being perfect for what I wanted to shoot. There were a couple exceptions, like next time around, I'll actually have my secondary camera in case I want any big, wide shots. It ended up being, because of the lighting, pretty high ISO and a really low frame rate and pretty low aperture. So a lot of them ended up being really grainy, but I ended up using that really well, and I liked that look, especially for the photos for the Carver of Cutter's Alley, because that ended up working perfectly for that type of character. This grainy, kind of old school, almost horror type photos ended up working very well for the Carver of Cutter's Alley matches. And I had just enough motion and still to work with that I was still able to get a lot of amazing shots of guys like Top Flight. Some standout matches from both events. We had Billie Starkz taking on Skye Blue on both shows, actually. It was the first time I'd seen both of them live, and Billie Starkz was very impressive, especially when you realize how young she is. And then Skye Blue as well was very impressive, and both played very well into their characters. On the second show, we had an independent wrestling TV championship match between JDX and the defending IWTV champion Warhorse, and that was a lot of fun to watch. Top Flight came in and they main evented both shows. On the first show, it was Top Flight and Arik Cannon teaming up to take on the Besties in the World and Warhorse, and then on the second show, it was just a straight up tag match of Top Flight taking on the Besties in the World. Other highlights, there was the debut of Don't Die Miles on the first show, taking on Gary J. It was actually the first time in person that I got to see Gary J. And the stiff Robo Ginger is stiff. Those chops echoed through the very large room that we had at the Temple of Aaron Synagogue. And there were so many more highlights and so much impressive stuff throughout both of these shows. And I was just happy to be back and capturing it. And it was nice to be able to catch up with a lot of people and not have to worry as much. Because like I said, everybody submitted a negative test beforehand. So, we all felt kind of as comfortable as we could be. So thanks again to F1RST Wrestling for having me. Make sure to check out their page as always. You can check out both shows' full photo galleries on my Facebook page, facebook.com/knockedoutfilms, Knockedout Entertainment. And, as always, make sure to follow me on all other social medias @KnockedOutFilms, and make sure to like and subscribe here. Thanks for watching.